All right, here we go. We are ascending. Man, that looks steep. Hey there, Duff here. Happy Sunday. Today is a much better Sunday than I expected it to be. And that is because the projected path of Hurricane Dorian has made a pretty dramatic shift to the east. At this point, Southwest Florida is out of the cone of uncertainty and is looking like there's a possibility that it might not. What the heck? Okay. It looks like the hurricane may actually miss Florida completely and actually kind of hug the coast, which isn't great for the east coast of Florida, but it's better than the forecast was for sure. The bad news is it could wind up hitting the folks in South or North Carolina later next week. So definitely not good news for those people, but at least locally, the pressure appears to be off. No, there's no more gas lines. Everything seems to be functioning normally. I was actually at a Lowe's yesterday doing some stuff, and that wasn't that busy. So yes, I think the panic has subsided in my neck of the woods. Speaking of the panic, I had a couple comments on the last video where I talked about, and I demonstrated 3 or 4 of the gas lines of people that were waiting to get gas, and saying how, how people were panicked and lemming mentality. But then about 5 minutes later, after I said that, I also did mention that I did get gas myself a day prior. I guess in my mind, the difference was it was part of I was running errands and I needed to get gas, and that was part of quantified that differently in my head. But I can see from the outside where that would look like it's just the same thing. I was getting supplies that potentially would be used for a hurricane. So some people called me out on that, so I guess justifiably so. I obviously am not immune to making mistakes or saying something incorrectly. I do it all the time. Speaking of mistakes, another mistake was if in the videos that I've shot on the 16X and comparing it to the Nick, I said multiple times how the Nikola is a 17-inch wheel and the 16X is a 16-inch wheel. Well, that's actually incorrect. When the Nikola was introduced, it was advertised as a 17-inch wheel. That registered in my head as, okay, Nikola 17-inch, the 16X is a 16-inch. Well, actually, the Nikola is a 16-inch wheel as well. It was originally advertised as a 17-inch wheel because of the large tire, which gives it a practical diameter of 17 inches. But when you look at both wheels have a 16x3 tire on them. So they have an identical size tire on them. So they are identical wheels, hence why they are direct one-to-one competitors of each other. So I had one commenter, and also Marty, pointed that out in the comments of the video that I most recently did. So there you go, making more mistakes. So anyways, what I'm doing is I'm going down to Marco. I have the 16X in the cab here with me, and in the back of the truck I have the Pint and the One Wheel XR. We're going to be doing some hill testing. This might actually turn into 2 different videos, one just based on the one wheel side of the house and the other one on the 16X, because I've learned that people don't necessarily like mixing PEVs. You wind up turning off both segments of the hobby. It's kind of weird. So yeah, we're gonna try the one wheels on the hill, something I've never done. Because specifically the Pint doesn't have great range, I'm gonna try to park closer to the hill area, and then we will see what happens. Should be fun. Pulled off at the street that intersects with Indian Hill. Pulled off to the side of the road, and we are going to be trying the one wheels out first. Like I said, I've never ridden, I guess it's better if I put this on, never ridden the one wheel on the hills down here, so not really sure what to expect. I'm taking the XR out first. I'm going to have it in delirium mode, and we'll see how it feels. Okay, so you can kind of get an idea of the angle of ascent just from this viewpoint here. There's next to no hills in Southwest Florida, so this is very odd to have something like this. Okay, there's the top. We're going down to the bottom. Morning. All right, here we are at the bottom. So just some specs. My riding weight is probably in the low 190s weight-wise. I'm 6'3", and we're gonna try to go up this hill. All right, here we go. We are ascending. Not going for speed, just keeping it slow and steady. Man, that looks steep. Right here is the steepest part. I could just feel the nose coming up a little bit because it doesn't like the amount of power that it's utilizing. But we made it. We made it on the XR. All right, now we have a pretty steep downhill here, so we're testing the braking. All right, feels nice and controlled. We're gonna spin around and we're gonna reverse it. We're gonna reverse it both ways. I'm not leaning into it to try to go faster. I'm just keeping my speed constant. Powered me right up. Nice. Okay, so I'm gonna cross Indian Hill one more time here, and then I'm just gonna ride some of the other neighboring hills that aren't as big or as steep. All right, so the XR did well. Handled Indian Hill without a problem. Feels comfortable on the twisty, curvy sections around this area. Going up a hill here. Whoa. Again, it's pretty steep. Just feeling a little bit of nose lifting. But we're okay. So we're gonna come down to the bottom here. We're gonna go up Indian Hill one final time, and then we're gonna switch to the Pint. Carving up the hill. It is funny how the stock XR tire feels when you're used to riding the Pint. It just feels, it feels flat. It does not carve nearly as easily as the Pint does. And of course that can be remedied if I got a more rounded profile tire for the XR, which I might do. We'll see. All right, XR gets a passing grade. No simple stop. Okay, I'm out on the Pint. I'm just rolling around a little bit to try to burn a little bit of battery just to avoid the potential of overcharging the battery going down the hill like I just described. So maybe go half mile here, loop back around, and we will begin our test. Just burning some battery. It's amazing the difference in feel though between the Pint and the XR. I really do need to get a rounded profile tire. I had Brett, one of my big EUC stand customers and YouTube commenter, he said that he got the Burris, I believe a Burris slick rounded tire from Craft and Ride, and he loves it. So I'm thinking I might have to go a similar route, because having ridden the flatter profile XR and this, I can tell you that I like the more rounded profile. Okay, heading down Indian Hill. Did I mention that I'm in Skyline mode? I don't think I did. I have the Pint in Skyline mode. I figured that would be a good choice for something like this. All right, here we are. We are at the bottom. We're going up there. See how the Pint does. Okay, we're entering the max incline portion of the hill. Feel a little bit of nose lifting, but we are here. All right, we've made it. All right, breaking down the very steep backside of Indian Hill. Feels well controlled. All right. We made it. Now let's go back up the other way. Here we go. My speed feels very similar to what I was doing on the XR. No problem. All right. Heading down the backside. Now, of course, this is nothing even remotely close to Marty's Overheat Hill, but it's the best I can do in Southwest Florida. All right, one more time. Up and over. No time to rest. All right. I do not feel any seat of the pants difference with the way that the Pint handled that hill versus the way the XR handled the hill. It felt pretty much identical, except the Pint's more carvy. That's really, that's it. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure how that would go. You know, in regular riding, the Pint power-wise has felt on par with the XR, and as I've mentioned before, it feels even a little quicker, a little more torquey because of the smaller motor and tire. Slightly smaller, not significantly smaller, but smaller. But I wasn't sure if that would be a negative climbing hills, you know, but it feels great. Climbed that hill with authority, multiple times without a break. And now I'm having fun just carving and looking at these ridiculous houses. That is a single person's house. That is not a hotel. That is a single family home. Yeah, this is actually a lot of fun to have on these roads. The up and down undulations, the curving, stuff that you don't get a whole lot around where I live. Obviously no hills, and most of the roads are just 90-degree intersections, dead straight. So yeah, this is a nice little treat. All right, up here is another small but kind of steep roundabout. This is something that one time Cindy and I came here, it was so steep that she was scared to go down on the electric unicycle. She didn't think that she could stop. So let's see if the Pint can do it. I think it can. Oh yeah, no problem. All right, I'm gonna roll back towards the truck. Man, I really thought today it was gonna be hurricane prep day. If it was hurricane prep day, depending on how close Dorian was forecast to get to us, it would involve pretty much putting away everything outside that's loose either inside the garage in the shed, and that may or may not have included the chickens, maybe. And it also, again, if it was more of a direct hit, then it would be involving putting up the plywood over all the openings of the house, which takes forever and is not fun. But luckily, I don't think I'm gonna have to do any of that. At this point, it's forecast to be enough east that I don't think it's gonna be anything worse than what we get with you know, our severe thunderstorms down here. So I think we should be in good shape. I feel very fortunate. Earlier in the week, it was looking like the path was consistently moving towards us in a menacing way. And then all of a sudden, a day or two ago, that reversed. So I feel very fortunate. Well, that was a little bit of an interesting sensation. As I was coming up this hill here, I could feel like a little pulsing. It was kind of like pulsing. That's different. Maybe it's getting hot. I don't know. I don't know that there's a temperature sensor in the app. Let me look. Well, I can report that the app still connects and disconnects all the time. I have almost 40 miles in the Pint. I'm looking to see if there's a spot where I can see the temperature of the board. All I'm seeing is disconnecting and reconnecting. If you actually want to use the app for anything, man, that's a pain in the ass. All right, well, yeah, I'm not sure where to check temperature. I'll look it up later. All right, here we go. Up Indian Hill one last time before our one-wheel testing concludes. Let's see if we get any of that pulsing that I was just feeling on the last hill. Okay, nothing right there. Am I feeling it? No, I think that was clean that time. I don't know, that's weird. That's the first time I've ever felt that. All right, back at the truck. Simple stop. I'm still not very graceful at it, but it worked. All right, so that up and down hilly mileage, 2.5 miles, used a good chunk of battery, 32% for that ride, but I still can't find a bore temperature thing. I thought there was a setting for that somewhere, or where you could see that, at least in the XR, but maybe I'm mistaken, I don't know. Well, my transmitter on my Road Go is showing that it's very low, unfortunately, which is weird because I thought I had it coming right off the charger, so I might have to switch to the GoPro 3. We'll see. One-wheel outro. Look for more one-wheel Pint content on the channel soon. And if you found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing. If you're going to subscribe, you might as well hit the notify button or notify bell, which is over here. Feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, ideas, and thoughts below. Until next time, Duffman out. Yeah, guys, it's no wonder that I misspeak sometimes. It's not like I'm working off of a script. I don't like just show you footage and talk over it or anything like that. You know, it's all spur of the moment. So you get the good, the bad, and the ugly. Just the way I roll.